After days of waiting, the day had finally come. Early in the morning, my whole family went out to the fields to harvest corn. Everyone was excited and eager, but that joy didn't last long. As soon as we reached the edge of the cornfield, I heard the cries of our neighbor, Mike. A quick glance across the field told me everything I needed to know. In just one night, the field had been severely destroyed. Without wasting any time, I grabbed my phone and alerted the team. Let's go! The aggressive wild boar herd is back. The hunt was on, and ahead of us lay a grueling journey where human cunning and the instincts of these wild creatures would clash. We moved into the untouched cornfields, where the corn grew tall. This created a perfect cover for the wild boars. From a distance, I heard the familiar rustling sound. Slowly, I made my way toward the noise, my heart pounding in my chest. And just as I had predicted, a wild boar appeared, crossing the path. Its fate was sealed. I aimed and pulled the trigger. The animal collapsed instantly, unable to move. A perfect shot, wouldn't you say? Looks like today's hunt is off to a good start. Assessing the situation, our team decided to venture deeper into the cornfields, where the boars were still hiding and silently destroying the crops. Of course, accompanying me were my loyal and intelligent hunting dogs. After only a short distance, the barking rang out, signaling their discovery. I quickly followed, knowing the wild boar had appeared. Sure enough, my dogs were cornering a boar that was busy nibbling on the corn stalks. Without hesitation, I squeezed the trigger and fired. The animal dropped instantly, unable to comprehend what had just happened. Everything unfolded swiftly and decisively. Meanwhile, to the west, Jack received the signal and moved toward the main path through the cornfields. As expected, the prey appeared. Everything unfolded in just a few seconds. Without hesitation, Jack squeezed the trigger and took down the boar with a single shot from a considerable distance. A perfect shot, don't you think? What do you think of that performance? Leave a comment below and let us know. On this side, I continued moving deeper into the cornfield. My loyal hunting dog had caught the scent of the wild boar and barked loudly, alerting me. It courageously charged ahead, subduing the prey, while I was ready to take down this fierce creature. I locked onto the target and squeezed the trigger. It collapsed instantly, unable to resist. The intruder was punished, and this was the justice it deserved. The fields were once again safe and secure. From a distance, Jack had already heard the sound of footsteps trampling the ground. Nothing else. It was the boars. Jack stayed alert, scanning his surroundings. The footsteps grew louder, and that's when the prey appeared. It charged forward like a lightning bolt. But of course, its speed couldn't match that of a bullet. Jack squeezed the trigger, and with perfect accuracy, he brought it down instantly. As the sun began to set, our team slowly made its way toward the road where our truck was parked, ensuring our safety. I moved cautiously, scanning the area, hoping to take down as many boars as possible. And sure enough, the heavens were on our side. A wild boar, caught up in its inspection of the corn, came into view. It was so engrossed in its work that it didn't even notice death creeping closer. Silently, I raised my rifle, gently squeezed the trigger. The bullet flew true, striking the boar and sending it crashing to the grass. And with that, I had accomplished the final goal of the day. fields were temporarily safe. Returning to the village and seeing the bright faces of the local, I felt a sense of relief. But in that moment, I realized that even though human life and nature sometimes have to clash, we always find a common ground. We hunt wild boars to protect our crops, while they hunt to survive. It's a natural cycle, and we are a part of it. The hunting journey continues. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you won't miss the next thrilling chase. Goodbye, and see you next time! The endless fields may seem calm, but all it takes is one wild hog charging through to throw everything into chaos. Armed with brute strength and cunning instincts, these beasts can tear through anything in their path. That's why seasoned hunters never let their guard down. One slight movement could mean the prey is right in front of you or already gone, leaving behind only stunned eyes staring into the distance. So, what are you waiting for? Get ready for some heart-pounding, unforgettable hunting moments. Early in the morning, John's hunting vehicle sped down the road heading toward the Queensland fields. As soon as they arrived, hurried footsteps set off the chase to track the wild animals. Every tense gaze scanned the surroundings, leaving no spot unchecked. Wait, there seemed to be a noise ahead. John raised his modern binoculars, spotting a dark figure hiding among the tall grass. In a ready stance, the precise trigger pull came the moment the animal slipped into John's sight. The beast fell instantly, a powerful shot marking a strong start to today's battle. Moving on to the neighboring field to hunt for more targets, the team quickly set up a tight perimeter. After just a few minutes of waiting, a herd of wild boars appeared across the field. This was the golden moment. John immediately squeezed the trigger, the bullet hitting its mark. The lone boar fell, and the rest panicked and scattered. Moments later, the echoing shot signaled that the fleeing threat had been dealt with. A successful move to stop those sharp claws from continuing their destruction here. At another location, Jay spotted a pack of wild hogs casually moving through the field. Without a moment's hesitation, he fired a powerful shot. The lead hog collapsed instantly. Follow-up shots quickly stopped the rest in their tracks. A flawless sweep that left no one behind, successfully protecting the field. As the sun climbed higher, John's team decided to switch up their tactics and hunting grounds. They moved deeper into the thick brush surrounding the fields, determined to better protect the peace of Queensland's farmlands. Just as the hounds let out a sharp bark, the massive silhouette of a wild hog tore across their path. In a matter of seconds, John locked in, raised his rifle, and squeezed the trigger. One shot was all it took to bring down the ferocious beast. At the edge of the field, Jay held his rifle steady, eyes locked on every movement, making sure nothing escaped his watch. Seconds later, a wild hog burst out of the brush. With no wasted motion, Jay pulled the trigger on instinct. Fast, clean, decisive. The beast dropped instantly. No matter how fast it ran, it never stood a chance against the barrel already waiting for it. At the same time, John kept moving, tracking the remaining signs. After a while, he paused, his eyes still sweeping the area. There, a large herd of wild boars had gathered. He raised his gun, and shots rang out in rapid succession. Another swift sweep was carried out in seconds, and soon, only fallen bodies remained. The long day has come to an end, trophies in hand, but the echoes of gunfire still ringing in the mind. The wild boars may return, but today, no one can deny that the hunters are the victors. The victory is for protecting the crops and bringing peace to the people. As the sunlight spread across the Turkish fields, Thomas and his team gear up for the next crucial days in their hunt to stop the monstrous wild boars. Their eyes scan every footprint, every broken blade of grass left behind by the beasts. They know that even the smallest slip-up could let these creatures vanish once more. But this time, armed with unwavering determination and the latest high-tech gear, Thomas is confident the chase will face fewer obstacles. The real battle is just beginning, and the question remains, who will emerge victorious? Stay tuned till the end to find out. The team gathered early, jumping into their hunting vehicle and speeding toward the post-harvest fields in Turkey. As soon as they arrived, Thomas's footsteps moved swiftly, hunting for the target. Before long, a large, hefty silhouette appeared clearly in the open land. The beast ran fast, but it couldn't escape the barrel of Thomas's gun. The moment the shot rang out, it went down, marking the team's first hard-earned victory. Back in the hunting vehicle, the team pushed deeper into the golden cornfields. Thomas was certain this was where the marauders were hiding. Every 10th second counted as Thomas and his crew silently scoured every corner. Just as expected, a rustle broke the quiet nearby. Without a word, guns were raised and a shot fired the moment a dark shape burst out. One single bullet was all it took to bring down the massive beast in the blink of an eye. But the team's fire burned brighter than ever as they moved on to a nearby vegetable field. Before the hunt could even begin, the baying of hunting dogs rang out, alerting Thomas. In less than 5 minutes, he had the target locked down in the middle of the field. Without hesitation, the shot rang sharp and true. The wild boar stood no chance. Silent and still, it lay motionless. Another victory won, adding a layer of safety to Turkey's precious farmland. Thomas's team was positioned, securing the entire hillside. Thomas was in his hiding spot when suddenly, a herd of wild boars charged up from the bottom of the slope, seemingly heading toward their den. Instinctively, he raised his rifle. A rapid burst of gunfire followed. In just a few seconds, one by one, they fell. As each boar tumbled down the hillside, a surge of pride swelled within us hunters. We were happy, knowing that tomorrow, the villagers would reap a bountiful harvest, free from the threat of the wild boar menace. A quick battle ended with plenty of spoils in hand. But they didn't stop there. Footsteps pressed on, hunting relentlessly. Just as Thomas settled into position and scanned the area, a lone wild boar trudging through the brush couldn't escape his sharp gaze. With practiced precision, he chambered around and squeezed the trigger in one smooth motion. The shot rang out, and instantly the beast was stopped in its tracks. What do you think? Was that shot powerful enough? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Down the rugged hillside, a wild boar darted like a bullet straight into Leon's sights. In a sharp, decisive moment, the shot rang out instantly. The beast lay motionless, no chance to fight back. Thanks to that swift strike, this land has been spared yet another threat. The hunt wraps up with a flawless finish, successfully stopping the threat in its tracks. After days of relentless defense, Thomas and his team have finally secured the crops from these relentless beasts. Months of sweat and toil had led to this moment, the time to reap what we'd sown. But our joy was shattered by a heartbreaking sight. Rows of corn stalks lay crushed, cobs torn apart, the fields scarred with fresh signs of destruction. The culprits? A rampaging herd of wild boars. Our hard work, our dreams, reduced to rubble in an instant. Unwilling to surrender, we grabbed our rifles and set out to take down these invaders. This cornfield, my family's pride, where Devil and I now stand, is nothing but a scene of devastation. The wreckage speaks for itself, no explanation needed. The culprit revealed itself in a flash. A massive black shadow tearing through the clearing, quick as lightning. I fired, round after round. The beast took a hit, but charged wildly into the corn, desperate to escape. My eyes never wavered, my grip steady. One final shot. Dead on! Ended it all! No matter how stubborn, no destroyer can outmatch us, the rightful guardians of this land, hunters born from this soil. Out in the cornfield, the hunt was no easy task. Too many perfect hiding spots for those wild boars. As we moved along the irrigation ditch, Devil suddenly surged forward. I read his signal and followed close behind. Out of nowhere, a ferocious boar charged across our path, cutting us off. Quick as lightning, Devil fired. The first shot sent the beast into a frenzy, crashing through the tall grass. But it didn't get far. The second shot, clean and decisive, left it cold. Another destroyer felled in the heart of our field, because we won't let this land be violated. A rustle erupted from the corn rows, and in an instant, 2 wild boars burst from the thicket, practically begging to be targeted. Caught off guard, I was on my own to face this sudden chaos. I fired rapidly, bullets chasing their frantic path. Boom! Boom! One boar dropped dead in its tracks. But in a split second, before I could even blink, the other vanished into the dense underbrush, slipping from my sights. Looks like today's hunt is throwing us more challenges than we bargained for. True companions, my dog zeroed in on the target in a flash, charging forward and clamping down hard on the boar's leg, cutting off any chance of escape. Right on cue, Devil stepped up and pulled the trigger. The massive boar collapsed, going limp in an instant. What a textbook takedown. What do you think? Drop a comment below. As we moved to the hillside, our dog's fierce barking erupted from the thicket. Without a second's hesitation, boom! A bullet struck its head, sending it reeling backward, tumbling down the slope. My heart raced. A split second slower, and I might have been the one tumbling. As the afternoon sun cast long shadows, the distant thud of hooves echoed in my ears. I was ready, so when two boars charged out of the brush, one after the other, I wasn't caught off guard. With years of experience, I locked onto my targets. One shot, and the first boar dropped. A second bullet, swift and short, felled the other as it scrambled to flee. The tension melted away, replaced by an unexpected wave of relief. As the final rays of sunlight stretched across the cornfields, we trudged back to the village, our trophies slung over our shoulders, drenched in the sweat of our labor. Not everyone has the courage to face the bone-chilling cold, where every breath that leaves your mouth turns to mist. But for wild boar hunters, this is a familiar battlefield. It's not just a confrontation with a cunning prey, but a battle with the very limits of one's own endurance. It demands unwavering determination, a courageous spirit forged through years of experience. Join us on today's snow hunt to witness heart-stopping moments where the line between hunter and prey is drawn in the blink of an eye. David's team was assigned to guard the southern forest, and the bone-chilling cold today was both a challenge and a promise of a thrilling hunt. Following the familiar tracks of the wild boars, he spotted a dark figure looming ahead. Then, it suddenly stopped, pivoting 180 degrees as if sensing danger. A single moment of hesitation would mean losing the prey, and David would never allow himself to make that mistake. Not far off, James' team lay in ambush by the pine forest. With the eyes of a seasoned hunter, he anticipated the boar's movements, pinpointing where it might appear. And when it came into view, the wild boar moved cautiously, weaving through the trees. But, in a moment of inattention, a single misstep into a deadly gap was all it took for James to force it to pay the ultimate price for it. We pushed deeper into the forest, the thick snow making movement more difficult, but we never faltered. From a distance, the wild boar charged out, moving as fast as lightning. Before I could even get a clear shot, Thomas' bullet had already pinned it to the snow, just as it made a break for the open space. No more steps, no more chance to escape. A perfect read of the situation, and a flawless kill down to the last centimeter. Do you agree? As the sunset made way for the darkness, a new battle began. After resting and refueling, we quickly hopped into the vehicle, armed with the latest night hunting gear, and headed towards the fields where the wild boars had caused the most damage during the day. The world through the scope is an eerie painting of shadowy figures. A whole herd of wild boars, completely unaware that they're being watched from afar. The infrared reticle locks onto the largest creature, the one calmly enjoying its meal. No warning, just a sharp crack of the rifle, sending the massive beast crashing to the ground, restoring peace to the field. The silence didn't last long before James' team received word of a target near the local cattle pen. This was a threat that needed to be dealt with immediately. James quickly locked onto the leader of the pack, the troublemaker. However, its thick hide proved to be a challenge, causing the beast to stagger but not fall. Instead, it bolted in a frantic escape. For the safety of the people, James was determined to hunt it down to the very end. It was late into the night, and that cunning boar had led us straight to its herd. This was the final kill before heading back. The way James locked onto the leader's head and took it down with a single shot showed the team who the real sharpshooter was. As the herd scattered, a volley of follow-up shots echoed, driven by the determination to capture as many as possible. It marked the end of a long, challenging day, but this conclusion couldn't have been any more perfect. A day of hunting in Oklahoma came to an end. A journey that spanned from the snow-covered forests to the vast foggy fields of the night. For us, this wasn't just a hunt. It was a mission to bring peace to the farmers, to protect crops and livestock from the devastation caused by wild boars. But tomorrow's hunt promises to be even more intense. Hit that follow button and join us as we hold our breath through the heart-pounding moments yet to come. Hunting wild boars to protect livestock, the never-ending battle. The ferocious beasts, armed with razor-sharp tusks, are ravaging crops, destroying farmland, and causing millions of dollars in losses for farmers. They fearlessly invade fields, lurk in dense forests, and spread terror across the region. Intense battles are unfolding to reclaim the land and protect the lives of the people. Can the hunters take down these savage creatures? Stay tuned for the thrilling moments just ahead. John's team, a group of fearless marksmen, kicked off today's hunt to restore peace to the fields. At 6 a.m., they piled into their familiar truck, heading straight for the post-harvest fields. Upon arrival, the team swiftly moved to their pre-assigned positions. Ten quiet minutes passed when a dark shadow emerged, leisurely foraging as if it owned the territory. But nothing escaped Jay's binoculars. He adjusted his stance, chose the perfect angle, and pulled the trigger. A rapid burst of gunfire echoed, and the beast collapsed before it could flee. Before they could track further, a signal erupted from the towering reeds, betraying the presence of the beast. John and his team rushed forward. Moments later, the hound's frantic barking echoed from the reeds right in front of John. He focused intently, and then the target came into his sights. A sharp gunshot rang out, dropping the beast with a single precise shot. A swift, clean, and accurate finish. At the same moment, on the eastern edge of the field, a wild boar leisurely crossed the blockade point of one of the team's marksmen, completely unaware of the ambush. As the beast drew closer, he seized the moment, took aim, and pulled the trigger. The bullet struck true, piercing its body, and the boar collapsed instantly. Another threat was eliminated, restoring peace to the field. An exhilarating ambush is underway in the dense jungle, where another team had set up their position early. Nestled in the lush undergrowth, Kevin was assigned the crucial role of blocking, observing the silhouette of their prey. 5 minutes later, gunfire erupted continuously from his teammates' direction. A wild boar shot past, weaving through the volley of bullets, desperately trying to escape. Kevin swiftly locked onto the target, tracking the boar's movements. Rapid gunshots echoed, and the animal collapsed under the hand of the professional hunter. Just a moment's hesitation, and it could have vanished into the thicket. In another corner of the forest, a marksman had sighted his target. Just as the beast was lumbering through a clearing between the bushes, he seized the opportunity and immediately opened fire. A single shot brought the animal down in an instant. From other positions, gunfire erupted simultaneously, with each corner of the forest marking another victory for the team. The hunt had protected the villagers from their lingering nightmare, promptly preventing further devastation by the monstrous creature.